Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to our Global Visioning State of the Union address. And I'm Julie Renee. If you haven't met me before, I am a quantum health activator and a brain rejuvenation expert. And today we will be going into a discussion about what's happening on the planet right now energetically, what's happening vibratorily with the year 2016. And it's an exciting year. Now, we have the ability to improve and change things. We're going to go through month by month looking at the energy vibration and what's possible. And I just want you to know that we as a race, a human race, are growing and changing, and that we have our fluctuations. We'll be looking at the impact of humanity on the planet and some of the things we can do to increase and improve the vibration, the health of planet Earth. So it's an exciting day. I'm looking forward to spending this time with you. So I'd like to start this official event with my tradition, which is rubbing your hands together in front of your heart chakra and just creating some heat, some tapas, some spiritual energy in the palms of your hands and your fingertips. And when your hands are nice and heated up, I'd like you to put your right hand over your heart chakra and your left hand over your right hand in a universal mudra of self-love and self-affinity. Affirm to yourself, I love myself. And then breathe in deeply through the nose and let it go all the way down to the depths of your pelvic cradle, and then breathe out. And then one more breath in and out. And then say, I trust myself. One more. I express my unique self. And just feel that energization of you being your magnificent self, of you stepping into your power in 2016. And I want to wish each of you a very, very happy new year. And I'm delighted that you have joined me. We have a really interesting call today. So I think everybody's going to be really fascinated with the information coming in. And thank you, everybody, for signing in. It's so nice to see all these names flashing on the screen. I understand that we have over 800 participants, so I won't be real interactive with the chat box today, but please do sign in and let me know. I will be seeing your name flashing in front of me, so I'm really happy to see where you're calling in from and see all my friends and fans and students. It's really fun to see your names, so blessings to everyone. So we're going with the Quantum State of the Union Global Visioning event. And covered in this address, we'll actually be talking about the actual state of the world, global vibrations, engagement plans for improvements, the vibratory settings for 2016, and supporting energies and shifts available in the coming 12 months. 12 months of energy assessment for 2016, the calendar year. Plans for the Quantum Activations Global Engagement, announcing a new apprentice training and a monthly series with your Year of Miracles, and then in-person immersion certification, what's possible this year. So we'll be going through both what's happening on the planet and also what's happening in the program here, in the Quantum Activations program right here at Gable Kennedy. All right, and the actual state of the world, global vibrations and engagement plans for improvements. So what we'll be looking at first is the Earth's condition. And one thing that I became aware of, and is an opportunity as a group, all of us, all of you on the call will be invited on Earth Day to come in and work as a group to remove all the curses on planet Earth. So the Earth is 96% cursed, meaning that it's in a pretty troubled state at the moment. When I measure for health or no health, I get a 30% healthy on the state of the planet. So only 30% healthy, which means it's 70% right now not healthy. So that's kind of troublesome, isn't it? And then we have the surrounding atmosphere is only 18% healthy. So the ozone layer and atmosphere are in pretty bad shape. We're at 82% not healthy. The core of the Earth, so the very center of the Earth, is 60% in good health. Negative impact of humanity on planet Earth, we have a 98% negative impact, and a positive impact. How much are we actually really helping the Earth? And we're actually helping the Earth only about 6%. And these two are not polar opposites. So just so you know that it's not 2%, but actually we're helping the Earth a tiny bit. And that's one of the things that we want to really be looking at in this call is what can we actually do to help the Earth itself restore itself to good health, the atmosphere, and removing the curses from the Earth. And how can we be a blessing on our environment? And of course, one of the things that we want to look at is our thoughts, and really having our thoughts move in a positive direction. When my immersion students were in, the Emerald students were in November, I took them to the Carmel Beach. And we did, for about an hour, hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, we did an activation where we cleared all the curses on an 80-mile radius. And it took quite a while to clear that 80-mile radius, and we were all working together. And it was something that was really amazing on that day was that like 24 dolphins came swimming in, and they played right next to the beach so that we really had a chance to interact with them. They felt the shift. And what's so amazing is people in Carmel have been talking about how it feels so much better there. And I said, well, my students were here. We did this. We lifted the curses from the Earth. And people actually who aren't into this stuff said, oh my God, we could feel it. It really changed. Something really changed here. So on Earth Day in April, I'm attempting to get at least 10,000 people from all over the globe, so I'm hoping you'll share this information with your friends. And I'll be teaching you how to remove the curses with this quantum pump. And we'll spend an hour together or perhaps more, and we'll just do an earth clearing and hopefully get the planet completely cleared of curses, which of course helps the planet become much healthier. So just like in our programs, we're always working on our being. We're going to work on the being that we live on, so we become a blessing instead of parasitical. I think on an energetic vibration, when you look at the relationship with humanity to Earth, it's more parasitical than it is a blessing. And so we'll be working on that. And I'm very optimistic and looking forward to a very big shift on planet Earth. And from time to time, we're going to be doing shifts and improvements and upgrades with the planet and with humanity. We're going to be raising the vibratory rate with both the planet and with the year. Today we'll be doing a little bit of pumping to raise the vibration of 2016, and also the overall what's possible for humanity, and really lifting the darkness from humanity. So it's very exciting. It's a wonderful year to be stepping into this, and understand that we are right in the middle of an age change and an era change. And so what we've got is when many people were born, they were born in the Piscean age. The age of Aquarius started in about 1976. And so people born after 1976 are born in the age of androgyny, or the age of God, information, or equality. And so things have been changing rapidly through the years now. And understand that when we change an era or an age, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes about 90 years. And we're about halfway between the era change. So we're like stepping through the doorway right now. And it'll take quite a few more years before we're completely into the age of Aquarius, but we're well into the transition. And that transition comes with, we're ushering in the new era, the era of light, the era of beauty and grace and God equality, really being able to master what in the Indian tradition is called the siddhas, but being able to vibrate with truth and then know that you can change something and then change it. And so in my work, I'm seeing organs grow back. I'm seeing stroke patients who have no hope of a normal life, complete dementia, brain not working, coming back to 100% health, having the brain restored and regenerated, having a colon regenerated, having adrenals grown back, having tonsils and adenoids and vision restored. And so understand that this is that era and age. This is the age. It's not just a miracle. It's actually science. We're working with the quantum field and the stem cells, and we're changing reality. And really the human system itself is meant to live hundreds of years. We're meant to live 700 to 900 years. And right now, in group mind and with the curses and with the belief systems, our body degenerates really quickly. We don't grow back, like a lizard, and we have the reptilian brain. The lizard grows back his tail if it's cut off. We don't grow back things. If we're sick, they just are sick or they're surgically removed and we don't grow back. But we have the capacity to grow them back. Understanding that the glands, the organs, the systems, that all still exists in your blueprint. And your blueprint exists in kind of like this spiritual realm or etheric realm. We can bring them back into physical reality. So it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be on the planet. It's an exciting time to live and to really be here and present. And then we have to look at what our impact is on the planet, and what we're doing to improve the planet, what we're doing to harm the planet, and can we actually make things better? So let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger on your screen. Here we go. Okay, so we're looking at the Earth condition, 96% cursed, and the plan for improving and really removing all those curses will happen in April. We'll be spending maybe a couple hours together and maybe 10,000 people using this quantum pump technique to clear the curses from the Earth. And then the Earth is 30% healthy, and that's something that we can also work on, and you can work on it yourself individually by imagining and blessing the Earth now. And then once the curses are removed, we can do activations and set up regular group calls to start bringing the health of the Earth back. The surrounding atmosphere at 18%, that also definitely and desperately needs to be restored. And I think about many of the factors, the ozone layer being damaged by the spray products that we were using, and then the strange seeding that's happening with the chemtrails, which is really affecting the Earth in not really in the atmosphere in really negative ways. Also, pollution has really affected the atmosphere. Now, everything can be restored, and you think about the atmosphere as virtually the aura of the planet. And so we want to start with the planet itself, removing the curses and restoring the health of the planet. The actual core of the planet is holding its own a little better than the places where humanity has impact. So the core of the planet is 60% healthy. And then, I know we've gone through this, but it's really interesting to look at a second time is, we have a 98% negative impact right now on planet Earth. And you've got to be really thinking about what is my part in that and how can I make this better. And I think one of the things immediately to start doing is thanking the Earth, blessing the Earth, spending time walking on the Earth, going out on nature trails, and really appreciating and loving the Earth. And that definitely will help. That will definitely help. Okay, the vibratory settings for 2016 and supporting energies and shifts available coming in the coming 12 months. As a year, it's set, the year 2016 is set at 130. And the setting is lower than 2015, which was set at 133. And I know you're going to be curious, well, what do those numbers mean? So I've created a chart here. This one is from David Hawkins' Power versus Force. But you can see where 130 is somewhere between desire and anger. You know, not the best place to be, but when you think about a population where 80% of humanity is under 120, that's part of the reason that the year is set so low. So 80% of humanity is set under 120. So they're set at fear, grief, apathy, guilt, shame, down and dirty. You know, so understand that that isn't all of us, but 80% of humanity, 80% of the people living on the planet are functioning in a lower vibratory rate. And so we'll be coming back and forth to this now that we're going to be looking at numbers, so you're going to be able to see. But where we're looking to bring things at and up to in this year, and I believe that we can do that, is into the 300 range, neutrality and willingness. Those are areas that are doable even for people who live on the planet that are in a lower vibration. So you have to think, what is it? What's the impact going to be? How are we going to affect the overall global movement and people on the planet? Okay, and then we pop back and we can, so I'm saying we can, if we pump for 2 hours each, so I'm going to show you how to pump and we can start pumping now. So we pumped for 2 hours together, the 800 attendees from this group. We can reset the vibrational rate at 300 for the year 2016. So let me pop back on the screen. So for those of you who are new to the call, and I'm sure there are a few newbies, we use a hand technique called the quantum pump, and this is what we're doing. We're just pumping away here. And what it looks like is it's your elbow is down at your waist, and your hand is being thrown forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. And like that, that's what it looks like from the front, and this is what it looks like from the side. And I'm going to explain to you why it works, so you don't just feel like a goofball pumping and not knowing why it works. There are two kinds of physics, and they were defined in 1915. 1915, Newtonian physics, the apple falling from the tree, gravity, that was defined in 1915, and also quantum physics was defined in the same year. And quantum physics says that everything is particles vibrating, and we're all part of a field. So everything is part of a field, and you have roses, and you have Julie Renee, and you have a globe and a vase, and so everything is particles vibrating. And when we pump, we are rearranging those particles to a better circumstance. And how we're doing that is we're setting a thought that we know that we can change it, and then we're accessing this pump, this hand movement accesses the quantum pleasure field. And so we're pumping with the intention of raising the energy vibration for the year to 300. And so we know that we can do it, and we're clearing all of the opposing energies that would keep it in a lower vibration. Yes, 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 yes. And I see a question, which is a good question. I have an incredible gift with muscle testing, and so I'm testing the vibratory rate, and I actually, in some of the other things that we'll be looking also at this group. So I tested for the 809 students who signed up for this group, and we're going to look at the trends, energetic trends for this group, and also give you some clues on how to raise those vibrations if you want to. And you know, one of the things I would suggest for all of you is to get yourself in the programs here, especially the immersion, the year-long immersion program. We have 6 more openings for people to come into the year-long program. You'd have to take the Diamond online training or the home study program that we have to get into the year-long program. But in that program, that is where energy vibration raises very high. My students who graduated, their vibration, let's go back to the screen, most of them were between 800 and 1400, meaning that they could affect change in very powerful ways And the classes really do raise your energy vibration because you're in the quantum field. Let me just show you again. So students in my class, everybody tested over 800, so 800 to 1400. And we go here in this era, there are people living on the planet that are 3000 in our era. So this is, you know, kind of a standard for humanity, but we go up much, much higher. So if you were thinking that that's one of your goals, you might want to get yourself into the year-long, most intensive, it's called the immersion program. Serbia, how wonderful. Thank you for joining us. In Holland, fantastic. Okay, all right, my dears. So I'm seeing people from all over, and I'm just thrilled. So thank you, everybody. This definitely is a global visioning event, and really thank you so much. We will be in touch with you about the global healing. We want everybody from every part of the planet to be here helping improve the planet. Wonderful. And Violetta from England. Wonderful. Okay. So we're going to go back here. So everybody is pumping now. You're going to pump the rest of the hour. You've got your hand moving. I've shown you how to do that. We're going to be working on resetting to 300, getting the energy vibration up. And then the curses on the timeline for 2016, I had registered gazillions of curses. And it would take 40 hours for all individuals on the call to clear the curses off of the timeline for 2016. But wouldn't that be amazing if the year weren't cursed? And you think about all the tragedy that happens every year. And if we all, as a group, pumped for 40 hours, 800 people pumped for 40 hours, we would clear all the curses from the timeline in 2016. So that's very amazingly, awesomely cool. All right, and this is related to you folks. So I tapped into the group energy of the 809 students that registered for this call in January. The vibratory rate is set. It's set at 60%, or at 60 rather. And let's go back and look at what 60 is. So 60 is somewhere between apathy and grief. So that's the setting right now. And so one of the things that we're wanting to look at is it's a lower or darker energetic vibrational time, and so you'll be wanting to do things that raise your energy vibration. So the energy that's set in January is 60%. What can you do? And let's think about meditation, maybe dance lessons, renewal of your spiritual commitments, your commitments to your health, having happy times with family, keeping yourself very positive. January can be a very low month right after the holidays for at least the people in the West. And so you really want to be thinking about consciously, okay, the setting for the energy is so low, I need to actually take conscious measures, conscious steps to keep my energy really high. And you don't have to be weighed down by this. One of the things I know is that when the energy is low, it's a good time for self-reflection, for going deeper in your meditations. It's a good time for coming into trainings. You're going to hear that through the whole course, through this whole address. It's really, think about where the energy vibration is particularly high, and that's where you want to jump in. So right now we have an Accelerate Wealth class, we have a Beautiful from the Inside Out, and we have Grow Younger, Cell Regeneration Made Easy. And the setting for the Wealth class is at over 600, so let's look at that again. So the Wealth class is set at over 600. The meditations in there are set at 1,000. So let's see, over 600 is peace. So between peace and enlightenment, the Wealth class is set at. And then the Beautiful from the Inside Out Lighten Up class, which is a weight loss class, and that's set at 800. It's a very fall in love with yourself, enjoy your life. And then Grow Younger, Cell Regeneration Made Easy. That's set at 920. And so between enlightenment and Christ consciousness. So could you see that if you were doing activities and training in higher vibrational things, how that would really help you move through maybe something that's kind of a lower vibratory rate. And you'll notice as you look through the year, there's nothing over 300 right now. As you're pumping and everybody is pumping to clear the energy for the year, we might be able to get these numbers higher, and that would be awesome. But our highest number here is in August at 270. So, okay, so let's look at February. And February is traditionally, at least for the West, it's the traditional month of love. And it's the month that we celebrate Valentine's Day. We look at relationships. And let's look at where 182 is, pride and courage. And so we do start seeing, it actually starts being a little bit more positive when we're getting up a little higher here, pride and courage. Love is up here, though. And so wouldn't it be wonderful if we could get that setting to go up to love, to 500. So, so that's what we've got going on in February. And then March is at 150. Let's peek over here, 150 anger. Now that doesn't mean that we're going to be in anger. It means that the overall vibration of setting is just not very high. And actually you might notice, you might kind of look, are you vibing with group mind here at 150? Or are you keeping yourself set at a higher vibration? And like I said, getting yourself into high vibrational classes would be fantastic for you. Next, let's see, we have April at 160. Take a peek again. 160 is getting up towards pride, between anger and pride. May is 200, and let's look where 200 is. 200 is courage. And that's actually a beautiful setting for May. And then June is 153, so we've kind of gone back down, and that's back around anger. Doesn't mean that it's an angry month, it just means that the vibrations are lower that month. And then we go into July is 270, and let's look at 270. 270 is neutrality and willingness. We're getting much closer to love here, aren't we, with neutrality and willingness. It should be a really more high vibrational month, July and August. So July and August on our year are going to be the highest vibratory months for this group. Again, if you're pumping and clearing the energy, things can change dramatically. So this is just where we're set right now. September drops way down to 70. Let's look at 70. 70 is grief. And then we go back up here. And that's the group that, like I said, you know, you can stay at a high vibration. Just know that the settings are lower. October through December. October is 60%, 60 rather, not 60%, but 60. 60 we have between apathy and grief. November is 94. 94 we have right around between grief and fear. And then December 118. And 118 we've got really close to desire here. So you can see as the planet is set quite low, and 80% of humanity, again, is under 200, under 180. This will show the trends and what's set up for humanity, and how we address living. You know, you've probably heard people say, be in the world and not of the world. Well, this is like a totally perfect example of understanding why someone would say that. So we have a lot of people who are lower vibratorily. You're very likely over 300. And the reason I say that is people tend not to find me until they're about 330 vibratorily. And so you've found me, very likely you're in a higher vibe than most of humanity. But we're working on blessing the entire earth and helping uplift humanity. And for people who aren't working on themselves, you know, they may only go up 10 points a lifetime. But for people like you and I who are very spiritually active and who are really living into fulfilling our mission on the planet, we'll be going up much faster. And for people who train with me, they go up much, much faster. Understand that working in the quantum pleasure field and the way that we work together, and that my energy vibration is one of the highest on the planets. So if you're working with a teacher directly who has a very high energy vibration, you'll be able to have a mirroring effect with yourself, so your body will want to naturally match. The old age, the old era of gurus is leaving, and no guru cords from me. I'm not doing guru cords. But you will be able to have that wonderful cell-to-cell mirroring effect, which is really wonderful. And so students who have spent a year with me training in the immersion program, and I'll be announcing an online apprentice program also, those students tend to go up hundreds, you know, whether it's 200 or 800 points in a year. So if you're really interested in speeding that up, that is one way to get the energy vibration up. Oh, and I see people are excited about doing the 40-hour energy vibration clearing. Yeah, you know, I think I present the information because I can't say, okay, everybody, you have to do this. But if you're all working on it and you clock 40 hours, we will be able to accomplish something really amazing. And understand that there's working on yourself, and then there's helping the planet, the beautiful globe that we live on. And, you know, as science shows it, we were, you know, really going into, with the polar ice cap melting and all the things that have happened, all the trauma and tragedy that's happened, we've been really heading towards another kind of upheaval with the Earth, an ice age or something, you know, something where the Earth kind of spits us all out because it can't handle us anymore. But what if 2016 were the year that we turned it all around, and that you and I together really lifted the health, the vibration, the curses from the Earth, and that we restored the Earth to its 100% state, or at least just elevated it a whole lot. I mean, it's been generation after generation of not helping the Earth, not helping the planet. And then the settings, the vibratory settings that were so low for the year, understand that we exist on a vibratory plane with other humans. And there are many, many people on the planet, and many people who are not deeply spiritual or not awakened to love and tenderness and compassion and thoughtful kindness, whatever. So understand that we share the planet with a lot of people who could be uplifted and elevated. And they can do it as fast as they can do it, which isn't super fast. But as we as a group who are higher vibratorily raise our energy vibration, it makes it easier for the people who are lower vibratorily to come up faster. And that's our goal, right? Our goal is to live into this awakened state where we stay young and youthful and healthy for hundreds of years, where we make a significant contribution to the planet. You know, think about this. I hear from my parents and their friends, we're in God's waiting room. And I think, oh my goodness, they're in their my mom's 79 and my dad's 80, going to be 83 next month. And they've been saying this for like 5 or 6 years already, we're in God's waiting room, meaning they have no purpose or value on the planet. They contribute, they don't contribute, they don't work, they're just living. And it's a group mind. It's how people hold themselves. They don't want to live a long time if they're going to be old and not have their brain. But what if you could live and be youthful and vibrant and contribute great things? When I was in the Landmark Forum class, gosh, it's almost 20 years ago, they did an exercise, and it was a great exercise. And the exercise was to imagine what you could contribute in the next year. And we had a chance to write down what we could contribute in the next year. And then it was, what can you contribute if in 2.5 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years, in 25 years, in 50 years, in 75 years. And then they asked us, what could you contribute in the next 150 years? And if you thought about it, if I lived 150 more years, what would my legacy be? What would I do to contribute? How would I help humanity? What would I do to make a big difference? And back then, young, and had this idea that I was going to transform the world by some kind of musical energy vibration, and that I was going to uplift people by music. It's really interesting because we do sing and chant in my classes. It's, the longer classes, especially if you come into a 7-hour class, for sure you're going to be singing. And because the vibratory rate of music elevates, and the vibratory rate of mantra elevates, and sacred song, that all lifts and elevates, and so things shift faster. So if you were pumping for 40 hours, but you were chanting or you were singing sacred music, it would go much faster. So understand that music. So anyway, looking at that, it started me thinking, well, what if I lived 200 or 400 years? What would I do? What would my legacy be? And how would I live differently? And just for a minute, I'd like you to really think about, what would it be like to know that you were going to live several hundred years, and that you weren't just living for today, but you were living for hundreds of years. And who would you want to see yourself be? And what would you contribute? I know I have had this vision for at least 5 years, maybe 6 or 7 years. I see myself receiving a Nobel Prize for contributing to the health and well-being of humanity and the earth. And I don't know how it comes about, but I just hold that vision that I'm playing that big game of really helping on such a significant global scale. Now, if you could just for a moment think, who am I now? And who would I be being? What would I be doing? How would I be behaving if I could contribute on my greatest level? And just take a moment and think, what can I add to humanity? And why would I want to live hundreds of years? Because you get out of the global depression and you move into this space of wise elder wisdom. And wise elder wisdom is what we need on the planet, right? And it can come through our children, or come through our seniors, and it can come through us. So I really want you to be thinking about this. Who am I in my world? And you don't have to get it all done at once. But if I'm the person who's contributed so greatly to humanity, another thing I've always said is, my teachings become a household conversation across the globe. That people talk about, did you hear about that lady who grew back this woman's colon, and she just did it by pumping her hand and using the quantum field? Like, I want people to have this skill and this knowledge and to be able to talk about it and share it. And so if I want that, then who am I, and who would I be being if that were 100% accomplished? Can you see how it starts to shape you, where you start stepping into a place of more empowerment, of really more ownership of your life, and more responsibility for the planet around you, and how there's more generosity flowing, that you get out of the what's in it for me, and you get into how can I shift the world. And sometimes, I have to say that you have to do the me stuff first, and understand that the me stuff is about really fueling yourself, fueling your emotional tanks, making sure that you have balance, making sure that you have enough. We look at, I'm teaching a wealth class, and I'm obviously wanting to encourage people to be the wealth leaders. We need spiritual people. We need awakened people who tithe and who want to contribute and who want to help people. We need those people to be financial leaders in the world. We need socially and fiscally responsible people to be big money makers. You know, so I teach that class. I teach a class on growing younger, and thinking about, well, why would I want to be younger, and what would I be doing if I were growing younger? There's no real standard yet for being young at 60 or being young at 90. There's no real standards set yet. I know in the United States, it's a dramatic difference between the Midwest and California. In California, people, and I think that's probably true of Oregon and Washington too, the kind of the West Coast, people tend to be very active. And they tend to stay young longer. Where in the Midwest, people tend to age faster. And is it a group mind? That's a really interesting thing. Is it a group mind? And I have to believe that, because I think that group mind, we agree to an aging process. Obviously, there's things to clear, and we do that in the classes. So please come into the classes. But a group mind will have us winding down at whatever time. Now, I have relatives that have lived to 99, 107, and 109. And they all had their brains. No one had dementia. No one had Alzheimer's. They were in old bodies. They definitely were in old bodies. And that's one of the things that I'm working on and teaching people how to do, is keep your body young and stay healthy and stay vibrant. And then you also have to think about, well, if I'm staying young, what am I keeping up with? What are the trends of the youth? Because if you say to yourself, oh, I'm not going to get that gadget, or I'm not going to learn that computer program because I'm getting older. You know, I'm winding down, I don't need to learn that. No, you have to keep up with the times. You have to, you know, really keep your finger in the pulse and keep your brain working 100%, like somebody who's 25 years old. And so you want to keep yourself really in that active, really proactive place of youthful vitality. And then see yourself, hold the mind, the vision of the mind, as youthful and healthy. I've been working on, I've been somewhat sedentary. I've been choosing to work long hours, and I'm choosing to work less long hours, and being much more active. I'm doing yoga, I'm doing kickboxing, I'm hiking on the mountain, looking at going into a West Coast swing class, and just looking at getting some of that juice back in my my joints and my bones and my muscles, and that flexibility. It's so funny, I've only done yoga 3 times this week, and I can see that I'm 100 times more flexible than I was a week ago. So understand that we have to choose, and then we have to choose a healthy lifestyle. You have to choose what you're doing, growing younger, growing or raising your energy vibrations. These are conscious choices. But you don't just choose that. You also choose, who would I be being? Why would I need to have this shift happen? So if you thought, I want to contribute to humanity and the globe for another 150 years because I've got this map laid out, a plan laid out, to really restore something, you know, you can really, because the minute you start thinking, who do I need to be being to do this, you start living into your life in a completely different way. So I'm super, super excited for you about this coming year. I think that it holds a tremendous amount of possibility. And I will be sending you all the PowerPoint and the replay, so you'll be able to go through the numbers again. But I'd like to show you now some of the classes that are coming up as we come to the last quarter of our hour together. And really talk to you about what the value is of this for you, why I think, why I'm bringing it in, why these classes are coming in now. Up until last year, we were only teaching a few classes online. And then this 2015, we started really going for it with the classes online, and it's been wonderful. It's been amazing. So the first thing I want to talk to you about with the trainings, and you won't be sold anything, you're just going to get a chance to look at what's coming up in the Quantum Activations programs. I've added 50 new programs this year, 50. And there's special programs, those deal with intimate issues. There's apprentice programs, those deal with regenerative and clearing. really like training to, if you're already a practitioner or you want to be a practitioner, those are really great. The immersion program is still up and running this year. So if you wanted to actually train in person with me, the immersion program is the in-person program. And I'll be shutting that down after 2015 for 4 years because I'm adopting babies, and I'm going to just enjoy the time with the babies for 4 years. So 2016 is the last year that you can train in person, physically come into my home, spend 2 separate weeks with me, and then get a lot of trainings online and phone calls, and you're really a master health activator at the end of the year. So if that's what you want, if you want to come in and train with me in person, it's the immersion program, and this is the year to do it because it won't be back up until, I believe it's 2020 or 2021. We'll have to look at that. I think it's 2020 that comes in. So if you were going into the website and you wanted to see what's coming up, you would click on the events program. And the website is julierenee.com. And in the events program, or calendar rather, you're going to be able to see all of the events coming up. So right now, next week we have Healing the Sex Glands and Organs for Women, and the following week we have Healing the Sex Glands and Organs for Men. These are regeneration programs, and they're part of our special programs, our special courses. And we do something like this every month. We have just done healing trauma and abuse. So every month we're doing something amazing around this topic. Like I said, we have Accelerate Wealth, Beautiful from the Inside Out, and Grow Younger, Cell Regeneration Made Easy. And so if you were to click on any of these, you would go into the page, and there you could see all the details of the program right there. So like the Wealth program, right now we have about 50 students going through this program. We've had on the Wealth program, and understand, oops, we're looking at really getting you to a higher level with your wealth and prosperity. So 3 people in 21 days who've gone through this program have actually created $100,000. And the results have been pretty phenomenal. Actually, I'll let this play at the end so that we don't take time watching the video now. Oops.
Hi, I'm Julie Renee,
and and I think I'm going to do that. So at the end of the class, at the end of this training, we'll have this video up for you. But anyway, that's how you would get to the trainings. That's how you find them. Okay, and the other thing I want to point out to you is Golden Age Year of Miracles. This is a program that's up and running, and it's amazing. It's 36 hours over the course of a year. You get 3 hours a month of regeneration. We're actually regenerating we're regenerating your entire system. So from your bones and your muscles and all your systems, we're going through piece by piece, part by part, and we're regenerating you. And there's a video that will play after this course that you can see all the details on your Year of Miracles. It was formerly called Golden Age Your Year of Miracles, and now we're just calling it your Year of Miracles. We had set it up originally to work with the older population, and what we found is that everybody wants this course. So that's Golden Age. That's your Year of Miracles. It's now changed. And then the immersion program, which I was mentioning. The immersion program is a very, very intensive program. You're getting a lot of training. You'll need to come through the Diamond training to get into the year-long program, but you can do that as a home study course if you want to. We have it recorded, or you can come into the Diamond Short that's coming up in January and jump into the Ruby and Emerald. And Ruby is really on personal breakthroughs, really going for it on your own level. We do brain regeneration in there. You're going to learn all of the foundational material and training to be a health activator for yourself. You work on yourself and full self-expression for 6 months, and then the Emerald level, you're working at practitioner level. So then we go into the year. During the course of the year, you're going to see nine free programs just like this one. However, each of the programs has a theme. So Unlimited Love is coming up in February, and you'll be invited to this free program, and we'll be doing clearings, and that's what we do for a whole hour. And so you can check out all the free programs. We've got them up, and how you would find all the free programs so you could register for them all would be under, you'd click on programs and you'd look for the free series right here. That's how you'd find the free stuff. So you'd be able to look at the old stuff and the new stuff and what's coming up. Our live programs are here. We have home study programs here. But what I'm wanting to tell you about are two additional things that are coming up and not yet on the website. So let me come back to you. All right. Ooh, the light has changed again. So the first program I want to tell you about is the Apprentice Online Training. And we've got that pretty well mapped out. It isn't set up yet on the website. It'll be formally announced in March. We'll be bringing the Apprentice program, the Online Apprentice program, on, and there'll be 3 tiers. So you'll be able to come in at level 1, 2, or 3. And based on the level 1 is very basic, and level 3 is very advanced. You'll be taking online trainings. We're going to keep you really, really busy for a whole year, and it is a certification program. So you'll be certified as a quantum apprentice, so quantum health activations apprentice. So that's coming up, and that will be announced officially in March. So just watch for those details. And for those of you who are already taking, because we identify which is the apprentice class each month, this month it's Grow Younger, Cell Regeneration Made Easy. So that is the apprentice class this month. And like I said, there'll be 50 classes. And special classes, we're really working on kind of more of the personal and intimate things. There's regenerating the bladder. There's healing the sexier me for women, healing the orgasm for women who don't have orgasms or haven't had the experience of or have lost it. We're also doing shrinking the prostate for men. All the kind of things that are a little bit taboo to talk about. We're doing men's classes and women's classes, and we're getting to the nitty-gritty of things, and we're healing things. Because you know what I'm really committed to is your full self-expression. And honestly, if something's a little haywire in something that's more intimate or private, you can't be your best self, right? I mean, it just, you're always kind of living a half-life. And I want you to live a whole life. I want you to feel amazing in your skin. So the apprentice classes are the classes where you're going to really train on a deeper level with the quantum field, the human blueprint, cell regeneration, DNA obliteration. The clearings are phenomenal. We do have also courses on, clearing spiritual parasites and pests and all of that stuff. And so that comes around in October. We have the replays year-long that you can get into. So that's something that's really important to you, which I think it is. Also, by the way, it's part of the immersion program. So you get that every time you train in the immersion program. For your weeks that you come in. There's actually 3 weeks that you would spend with me. Just for those of you who haven't done your diamond class, we've just done the in-person diamond class, so you'd have to do the online diamond to get into the year-long training now. But I'd love to see from this group, 6 of you say, hey, sign me up for the immersion program. I'm in. I want that mastery. I want to be a quantum health activator. I want that certification. So that would make me so happy. Okay, my loves. I have, let's see, is there anything else I wanted to show you? Go back to our website page. Yeah, I think just the other things to show you are to understand how the website page works. There are a lot of free things for you on this website. And you're going to find over 400 articles, videos, and audios in the blog that are entirely free to you, that are of great value. So if you wanted to learn how to do cell regeneration, and you just want an introduction to it, you put cell regeneration, I've misspelled it, cell regeneration in here. And then you click, and everything around cell regeneration will come up. And so everything that I put in the blog on cell regeneration. There it is. Articles, videos, audios. Looks like there's 4 or 5 pages of. So understand that I want you to have the information. You have money, you don't have money, I want you to have the information. And then I'd also like you to know about these transformations. And so when you're looking to get that certainty for yourself, it'd be great for you to be looking at these transformations. These are interviews and people say testimonials, really, of people saying, hey, this happened to me. My adrenals grew back, or my colon grew back, or you know, I stopped having cramps instantly and have never had them again, or I've overcome PTSD. I haven't had my emotions for 50 years, and all of a sudden I feel happy. It's like a veil lifted. So this page, I feel like it's so important for you to take a peek at if you're wanting to create more proof or evidence in your head that this can happen. Because, you know, people get incredible, incredible, incredible results with the quantum field in the human blueprint. And I want you to know that this is for everyone. This is not just for the, you know, the chosen. It's not just for people who have the skill of being a healer or something. It's for everyone. And this is not energy work. So I just want to clarify that this pumping thing we're doing to help the planet is not energy work. Energy work is taking your energy or some other energy and moving energy around. What we're actually doing is we're reorganizing the way the particles are vibrating. So it's very different, right? I mean, although people see it in the field of energy and energy work, I say it's just not energy work. It's really you're directing with your mind, with your thought. I'm directing a positive shift, and you're accessing the pleasure field, the quantum field, using this hand movement and intending to create a shift. And so you're rearranging the way the particles are vibrating rather than putting energy anywhere. So it's actually better for you because as you work on yourself or anyone else, it helps you really to raise your own vibration. I know my hair started growing like a weed when I was doing, you know, 8 hours a day of this quantum activations with people, because it's good for you too. It's a good energy to be in. Yeah, thank you, Marie. So much to learn. Well, you guys, we're just at the end of the hour. There's a lot coming up. No, you're going to get this. You're going to get the PowerPoint, so you're going to be able to see what the energy vibrations are for the month. If you all want to take on pumping for 40 hours, that would be really helpful. It'll really help lift the planet. Let's see where we're at. Let's see. We're about 270 right now with that goal of getting to 300. So let me just show you what we were working on again. There we go. So we're resetting at, so the year is set at 130, and it's now set at 260. And we need to pump a little bit longer to get it reset up to 300. And part of that was we didn't actually have all 800 of you on the live call, and I think that's part of it. And we had a little over 300 on the live call. And I know people sign up and watch the replay because of the different times. So, so that's where we're at. Keep pumping. And I love you. Happy New Year. Please, please come and join me in the classes. Now stay on for a little while. I'll be in the chat box saying hi to people. I've asked my producer to put a few videos up of just the immediate things coming up, but I'd love for you to go into the calendar and look for what you want, because it's there. If you need to regenerate your bones and joints, you're going to find it there. If you need to work on your heart, you're going to find it there. We've got something for everyone. The Year of Miracles is a place to start if you're really about your own health. If you're about success, there's a ton of things on wealth and success. There's stuff on love. And it goes, you know, every month we have at least 4 classes, sometimes 5 or 6. So I love you. God bless you. I'll see you very soon, and have a magnificent year. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.